Hey, good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution episode 1313. Ooh, 1313 in October. I shaved yesterday. It's cold. It looks like I have lipstick on. What's up? Happy Sunday. We've got NFL Sunday going on. I've got my Bears. We've got a big game against the Washington Commanders today. Bear down, Chicago Bears. How was y'all's weekend? I did buy some cards, but not the way you think. I'll tell you about my buying trip. Watched some college football. Ended up going out last night to watch some college football. Badgers hosted Penn State, the Nittany Lions, number 3 in the country, here at Camp Randall Stadium. Went to it was a comedy of errors just trying to go to a bar to watch the game. I wanted to go out and watch the game. I didn't feel like sitting. It was a perfect for me 6:30 kickoff. That's perfect. So texted my buddy. I'm like, hey, do you want to go to the Village Green and watch the Badger game? And I was excited because I was really craving a Village Green burger. They have awesome burgers. And he's like, yep, I'm game. All right, cool. So Ernie's out playing with the neighbor dog. And went over there. My wife took Ernie over there. And then so I went over and I'm like, Mark texted me back. We are going to go to Village Green tonight. She's like, oh, okay, cool. And so my neighbor's like, oh, he's like, I used to go to the Village Green all the time, blah, blah, blah. And so I'm like, cool. So Ernie's done playing. We get back into the house and I get a text from my neighbor. And it's like a flyer for the Village Green. And it's a drag show. And I look at the date. The drag show was last night. I'm like, oh, shit. Like, well, we're not going to the Village Green to watch the Badger game tonight. So I text my buddy and I'm like, hey, there's a drag show at Village Green. How about Long Table? Long Table's just across the street. Now I'm like, I'm looking forward to that burger, but Long Table has these like giant wings that are really good. So I'm going to have giant wings. I've eaten a lot of salad this week, so I'm ready for some meat. So we decide, okay, cool, we're going to Long Table. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna head up around 6. He's like, all right. He's like, grab a spot at the bar, and if you get there first, grab a spot at the bar. If I get there first, I'll grab a spot at the bar. All right, cool. So a few minutes before 6, I'm out the door. I'm headed down to downtown Middleton, going to Long Table. And I park, I walk in. I'm like, damn, there's not, as I drove by, I'm like, shit, there's like nobody, there's like literally not a single person at the bar. I'm like, cool, we got the bar to ourselves. So I go park, I walk in, I go up just about to take a spot at the bar. I'm like, I got my pick of any stool. And the bartender comes over and she's like, oh, I'm sorry, we're not accepting new customers. And I'm like, oh, maybe they read it. She's like, our internet is down. I'm like, oh, you fucking kidding me? But really, the internet rules, like we lost internet. We have TDS now, and we lost internet. Here's the funny thing: people complain about what the cable provider we have here, Charter Spectrum. And we had Charter Spectrum for a long time. People always complain about the internet. TDS, so much better. I don't know if we ever lost internet with Charter. And with TDS, it's like we've lost it a few times. And we've only had TDS for a year and a half now. So our internet's down. And like I can't do anything. It's like, oh, I'll do this. Oh, wait, nope. I need the internet to do that. I need the internet to do this. I guess I can sort cards. I don't need the internet to do that. So anyway, you can't even run a restaurant Like you don't even have like an ability to, but I guess everybody uses cards. Like you can't run a credit card these days without the internet. So it's like, I don't even know if I had I probably had enough cash on me. I don't know, but they were like closing, like, oh, internet's down, we're closed. Can you imagine that? Like, just think about that. For those of you that probably most, if not all of you, were around and spending money in restaurants and everywhere else without the internet, like business boomed before the internet. Now it stops. Imagine that. Yeah, ATMs are down, or if the internet's down, you can't withdraw from the ATM either. I don't even know if they have an ATM in their building, but I'm sure there's an ATM nearby. Like everywhere else was open. Like it must have been isolated to either their part of the block or yeah. John says we had to get money on Friday for the whole weekend. Yes. Yeah. Like I remember that. And credit cards worked fine without the internet back in the day. Like you got to get to the bank before it closes. Otherwise you don't have any cash for the weekend. I didn't spend too much time in that era, but I do remember it. I do remember those times. So we're 0 for 2 now. 0 for 2. And so I'm waiting. My buddy hadn't arrived. I was first. So there's not many other choices in downtown. Like the only other bar is Free House. And I'm not a big fan of Free House. You got Tanner's, which I haven't been to the new Tanner's. I used to play trivia at Tanner's every Wednesday night when it was at its old location. And like Greenway doesn't have any bar anymore after Tanner's moved out. They bulldozed the property, and now it's a Cooper's Hawk is what it is now. So our other like go-tos are like Riley Tavern, which is way out. You know, and I I just want to go within, there. And so Mark pulls up and I'm like, they're closed. The internet's down. He's like, what? He's like, they're closed because the internet is. I'm like, yeah. Yep. So then we're standing there deciding, okay, what do we do now? I'm like, well, we could walk over to Free House. I'm like, I'm not a big fan of Free House. And Mark's like, yeah, I'm not either. And I'm like, how about Tanner? And Tanner's, the rock station was doing a tailgate jam at Tanner's. And I'm like, how about Tanner's? And he's like, no, I don't like Tanner's. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, Riley Tavern, they close at 9. And I'm like, yeah, and I don't feel like driving all the way out to Riley. And he's like, we can go to Remington's and Cross Plains. And I'm like, yeah, I don't feel like driving out to Cross Plains. I'm like, let's just walk over to Free House. So we went to Free House and it sucks. Like I used to go to Free House when I first moved to Madison because I didn't know any other places and I just happened upon Free House. And it was so quiet because they are not like a sports bar. Like they have TVs, but they're just kind of a bar. Not even, they're a bar restaurant. It's actually it's a cool location. And it's like you walk in, like the entrance is the bar. And it's a nice bar. And then they have a couple, tabletops. And then if you walk to the right, it's like a building, like a house, like almost like a house looking building, all connected. And to the right is kind of like a nice restaurant. And then if you go left, it's just kind of this random annex to the establishment. It's called the Free House because it was originally the jail, it's got a cool history. It's like a 150-year-old building. It's cool. But I don't like it to go. Their menu kind of sucks too. Like they don't have a good menu. Like I just drink beer, so the beer's okay, but the atmosphere is not what I like. So the funny thing is, so I ordered the wings. The wings sucked. The wings were not good. So we had to like ask them to turn one of the TVs to the Badger game. Like that's how not sport. Like Madison, Middleton, Badger crazy on Saturdays. But there's a few people at the bar. By the time halfway through the first quarter, we're the only people at the bar. At one point, I think we were the only people at the bar. And my buddy goes, I can't remember exactly what he said, but to the terms of, man, this place sucks. And the service was not great. Like, it took forever to get our first drink, just to have them say, what would you like to order? So it was not a good experience. And like literally 10 seconds after he says, man, this place sucks. And I don't think he said it loud enough, but the bartender walks over and hands me a chip. And she says, in like the most disappointing way, drops this chip in front of me. This is for wearing Wisco gear. And she said it like, here you go. This is for wearing Wisco gear. I'm like, oh, thank you. Thanks for the free beer. Did you just do that because you heard him say this place sucks? Probably. But yeah, Freehouse sucks, man. And normally we don't have to go there because we got Village Green or Long Table, but no internet at one place, drag show at the other, Freehouse we go, and disappointing. We should have just drove out to Riley Tavern or Cross Plains. And so anyway, let's see. Zach says, I carry JFK silver $50 with me for this very reason, just in case the internet's down. John carries otter pelts and Himalayan pink salt gets me out of most jams. John says, and credit card carbon slips also come in handy. Yeah, where we at? Can't barter with baseball cards though. No, and I probably had some in the back seat of my car. Zach says, do you shave on Fridays so you can hang out at high school football games and not get confused with an adult? With your weight loss and clean look, you could pass for a teen. Yeah, that's not why I shaved, because my facial hair was getting long. So that's why I shaved. Antifa has ruined Madison. Where are we at? Let's just go to the back, to the top. I bought some cards yesterday too. Unicorn Cupcake says, good morning. What's going on? Donald Davis in the house. Good morning. Brian is here. Good morning. Bears win today. I think so. What's the odds? What's the spread on today's game? I say yes, but I am the eternal optimist when it comes to Bears football. Where's my fucking app? There we go. Bears. Oh. So I'll finish my thought on yesterday. And then on last night's game, Penn State, Wisconsin. Penn State's number 2 in the country. Wisconsin's been playing really well lately. Like, since their starting quarterback went down, their starting running back left the program. They've turned it around and they've played really well the last couple of weeks. Penn State's been yay. And I'm like, you know what? Number 3 in the country. It's a home game. It's homecoming. Like, Wisconsin's been playing well. I think they can take this. So I told my buddy before the game, he's like, man, this is going to be a romp. Penn State's going to kill us. And I'm like, no, I think the Badgers can pull this off. And I said, there's going to be no in between. Either the Badgers win or they get blown out by 40 points. Like, there's not going to be an in between. And guess what? I was wrong. There was an in between. The Badgers lost by 2. And I think I even made reference to, they're either going to win or they're going to get blown out. And there's not going to be in between. They're not going to lose by like 2 touchdowns. And that's exactly what they lost. It was like 28-13 was the final score. I think. Let me see. Yeah, 28-13. So I was completely wrong. NFL today. Bears and Commanders. Washington, it's a 3:00 game. Okay, I can get a lot of shipping done today. Good. I've got a lot of shipping to do. Not a lot of volume orders, but a lot of volume within my orders. I have like 100 orders to ship, but they're all like 10 plus orders. And I didn't even have, so I think that's why. So by the way, I think the Bears are going to win today. Yes, they're 1-point dogs, but I think they're going to win. So I've got a lot of shipping to do, but it's not as many. It's not like 300 orders. It's like 100 orders, but each order is like 10, 20 cards within the order. And I didn't even normally when I run a 50% off, it's like you got to buy 10 or more items because I don't want, a bunch of people taking 50% off. And then I talked about this yesterday. It's like, but really, if you get a 50% off coupon, most of my stuff is like cheap. It's like, you're not going to come into my store and like, oh, I want this card and I get half off $2. No, you're going to go spend it on 20 cards, 50 cards. So I didn't even need to set in. And did I sell some like onesie twosie at 50% off? Yes. But like 95% of my orders were like 10 or more or 5 or more. So I think I'm just going to, in future 50% off sales, which I will run another one before the end of the year, hint, hint. But I do like to surprise you with those. I don't have to, I'll take that caveat off, and I'll probably take off the cap. Like, I think this one, it's defaulted to like $100 cap on your savings. My next sale, I think I'm just going to remove that or make it like $1,000. Just, maybe it's like, oh, hey, I can save a whole bunch. And maybe it leads to even bigger orders. So we'll see. Raphael is here. What's going on? Good morning. Happy Sunday. Philly Joe's in the house. Good morning. Merle's here. I have to walk Josie quick. Don't tell us how to level up our eBay store until I get back. How to scale your eBay store, coming soon to Hobby Evolution. Cooter's here. What's going on? Good morning. Johnny M in the house. Good morning. He's hoping for the Dodgers in 4, so it's a 2-0 series lead for the Dodgers. Come on, Yankees. You got to win a game. I got to get my damn Yankees. I got to get my damn Yankees listed. Damn. Yankees. So good morning, Uncle Rich. Win some games, New York Yankees. Happy Sunday, Kyle. Ditka and NASCAR playoffs make for a good Sunday. Playoffs? See, I don't know anything about NASCAR anymore. I don't know how the playoffs work, but I did see, I don't think this was like NASCAR. I think this was trucks. There was a racer. It happened upon my Twitter feed yesterday. Some racer like crashed another guy, and then he was, I'm fucking tired of this shit on the radio. And so I did see that. I'm like, oh, that's fun. That's when I like NASCAR. When my dad was a huge NASCAR fan. And so he'd watch, and he even watched like IndyCar and shit. Him and my mom would go to dirt track races, and he just loved racing. And so when he was watching it on TV, I'd be in the other room playing with my baseball cards, right? And I'd hear my dad go, "Ooh!" And I knew that was a crash. So I'd race into the living room and I'd watch that's the only time that I enjoyed watching NASCAR, was when I heard Dad in the other room go, "Oh!" That's when I knew a crash was happening. Art Green's here. Good morning. Zach said the drag show would have filled that appetite for meat in many ways. Yes. John says never lost internet, hence Jimmy Carter was running things. Just saying. We had to get money on Friday for the whole weekend. Ryan says credit cards worked just fine. Sans internet. Zach and Porter said Bitcoin purchases not impacted by internet. I'm assuming this on what I've read. LRS1 Bo 0. Max says that's why I still carry cash, but Jesus, pour me a beer and I'll give you the cash you need. Gotta adapt. Can't shut down because of no internet. I carry cash now. I used to never carry cash. I never carried cash when I could actually use it. Now I carry cash all the time and I can never use it. I mean, we've gone cashless in so many places. You go to a baseball game, your cash is no good here. It's like, what? My cash is no good. So yeah. Yeah, I can't believe a business like doesn't adapt when the internet goes down. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, crazy. Johnny M says, that's why I always carry cash. Hate places that won't take good old-fashioned money. Orlando is here. Good morning. My cash was no good there. Couldn't even use it. I think I did have cash on me. Zach says, economy is so good right now. A bar can shut down during one of the busiest nights of the week and not lose sleep over it. Bitcoin boom. Yeah. Imagine that. John says, Tanner, one of the OG Bad News Bears. Possibly the Bad News Bear I relate to the most. Let's see. Zach and John carrying random things. CL on the road. What's going on? Good morning. Get to join live this week. Took advantage of the 50% off coupon on Friday. Hey, thank you. On my way to the North Metro Ice Fishing Show in Ramsey, Minnesota this morning. I was like, man, is it frozen already up there? But it's a show. It's a show. You're not actually ice fishing. It's getting cold here, though. We haven't had a freeze yet. We've had frost a couple times, some light frost, but we haven't. I don't think it's dipped below freezing. And we're supposed to be at 80 degrees on, I think, Tuesday this week. So holy moly. John says, and credit card carbon slips also come in handy. Can't barter with baseball cards. Hey, I did buy some baseball cards. By the way, shop my eBay store, just like Chris did, 99centcards.com. Buy 7 or more at regular price. You'll save 25% off at checkout. The 50% off coupon is still valid until midnight tonight. Check your email, check your eBay messages, check your spam folder to your email that is linked to your eBay account. That is important. So that's where you might find it. So check those places if you haven't taken advantage of it already, 99centcards.com. Otherwise, it's 25% off when you buy 7 or more items at regular price, 99centcards.com. I did buy some cards yesterday. So I've been talking about this for a month, 6 weeks, about buying some Score a Treat cards to hand out on Halloween. I finally did it. I went to Walmart yesterday. Now, I went all the way on the other side of town to the furthest Walmart. I guess Sun Prairie technically would be the furthest Walmart in the Madison metropolitan area. But I went to the east side Walmart because Watts Road is there, because I needed several things. I needed number 6 envelopes, and then I always grab number 10 envelopes when I'm there. I needed painter's tape. What the hell else? Oh, I needed some card savers. I'm putting in a big order, but I'm low on card savers. In fact, I've been using top loaders lately. So I wanted to get some card savers and then the Score a Treat boxes. Watts Road does not have any supplies or cards. And frankly, it's a scary place to go. It is not. It is my buddy last night. He's like, I told him about my Walmart trip for whatever reason. And he goes, I think he goes, man, I went to Walmart the other day on Watts Road. He's like, oh, I'm like, oh, that's rough, man. Don't go to the Watts Road Walmart. It's a scary place. It is a scary place. Like they literally have homeless people living in the parking lot at the Watts Road Walmart. That's not a joke. So I didn't go to that one. The Monona Walmart, their card selection also sucks. And it used to be the best up until about a year ago. It used to be the best in town. And now it's probably even worse than Watts Road. Like Watts Road even has some cards. So East Side is the best. They have supply. They have a huge selection. They have supplies. They have everything. So I went to East Side, and I got my envelopes, both sizes. I got my painter's tape, and they had Score a Treat. So I got a Pokemon box, I got a basketball box, and I got a football box. And then they had card savers. Once I got home, I realized they're not the number 1s that I like. They're just the regular number 2s. Is that the correct? I always forget. They're the thinner ones. Usually they have the wider ones, but they just had the thin ones yesterday. So I still bought a box, or actually 2 boxes, to get me through until my order comes in. So I did, and I'm going to tape the Madison Card Show business cards. I have, by the way, I've had a couple dealers ask me about next year. I have put in my request. And so this is like Judgment Day when I get the email back. I sent the email out Friday. We'll see this week when it comes back, because I'm expecting a rate increase to my rent. We'll see. Hopefully not. But who knows? They could also say, oh, sorry, we don't want your business anymore. I don't know. I don't think that's worst case scenario, but I'm always prepared to lose the venue, have a huge rate increase, whatever. So I did put the request in. I'm not going to share those dates because what tends to happen is people say, well, I heard you say it on your show that the show's on whatever day. And I'm like, no, I may have said the date, but the contract wasn't signed. So I'm just not even going to share the dates that I requested, but dates have been requested. It does, sometimes when I request the dates, they're like, oh, sorry, this date's kind of like in October. I requested yesterday. And it was not available, which I'm glad it wasn't available because it was homecoming. And also there was a show in Green Bay yesterday as well. So glad it worked out that I got the 19th. So next Madison Card Show is November 30th. That's the Saturday of Thanksgiving weekend. And then December is the 28th after Christmas. And both of those shows are usually very well trafficked. A lot of buyers come in. So looking forward to those 2 months, and then keep your fingers crossed for first quarter 2025. I did request dates for January, February, and March. They only allow me to book 3 months at a time. So there you go. Where we at? Max says, should have just brought the trout with you and bought the whole fucking place. Bo has that high school sousaphone player look. I was, in fact, a high school sousaphone player, says Brian. I don't even know what the fuck a sousaphone is. I thought John was just making words up. Bears minus 2.5 last I saw. Interesting. It's interesting. My thing says Washington minus 1. Interesting. Orlando says, was watching weekly card news. John Keating leaving Beckett. Big news. Trending. John Keating has left Beckett and has joined us. One of us. John Keating now on Trading Card Database. TCDB. Usually that's where they throw the kids with the glandular problems. Sousaphone. Rich says, went to a show yesterday and it was mostly new cards and Pelican cases and all the things I'd rather not see at a show. A lot of that. Zach says, is that a K-Swiss hat? It's just a Switzerland hat. Good morning, Mr. Archer. What's going on? John says, Orlando, someone using my NIL. Are you wearing LA Gear shoes? I am not. I do love K-Swiss shoes, though. I haven't rocked K-Swiss in a long time. There was K-Swiss, and what was the other that were like white sneakers back in the day? K-Swiss and Lugs. Was it Lugs? I used to rock Lugs and K-Swiss back in the early aughts when I had blonde tips and wore puka shell necklaces. Lofi Joe, good morning. Went to Eau Claire show yesterday. Surprised to see a good number of coin tables there. Interesting. Eau Claire. Brian says, I was just fat. No gland issues. 902 Vintage. What's up? Should have just went to the drag show. At the end of the day, you're right. It was a $10 cover, though. So I'm cheap. I assume they were accepting cash for cover, though. Good morning, Mark. What's going on? Going to bounce back and forth between Red Zone and the Hallmark Channel, watching some Christmas movies. John's got to run. Need to hit all the ATMs before the outage reaches Pennsylvania. Don't Google drag an ATM. Uh-oh. Bears never show up after a bye week. Come on, Zach. Let's be positive. This is a new regime. This is a new Chicago Bears football team. Stuke's in the house. Good morning. Heading south today, road to the Dallas Card Show. We'll be listening to games on Sirius. Have a safe trip, and I will see you next Saturday. I will get to meet Stuke. So hopefully I get to meet Stuke. I'll meet Stuke for the first time. I'll meet Cooter for the first time. And who else am I going to be meeting for the first time? Who else is going to be in Dallas next weekend? Philly Joe, I grabbed 9 cards. Hey, thank you. Johnny M says, running a buy 10, get 50% off for 4 days now. Not one sale. This never does well for me. I do best with flat 10% off anything, 9,000 listings currently. That's interesting. Here's how well mine is done. Ooh, price drop alert on Cracker Jack Jimmy Archer. Here's my bottom corner. My eBay, 351 sales, and that's in the last about 24 hours. I think 9 a.m. is when when that started counting. So 50% off sale has been working great in my store. It doesn't necessarily work for everyone. Johnny Boy Cards, good morning. Cooter says, I only needed one Buster Posey card you had. I didn't use the 50% off because that would make me an ad. No, you can do that. That's why I do it. That's why I do it. By the way, there may be some Buster Posey cards coming on an American Airlines flight on Friday. It's not real racing unless there is dirt in your beer. There you go. I was, for one night, I was a track announcer at a dirt track race in Macomb, the Macomb Speedway. I was invited back a second week, and I said, really? You want me back? Really? And I said, thanks, but no thanks. I think I was paid $40, and it was how many hours? It was like 5 hours, and I'm doing the math, and I didn't get home until like 11 or 11:30, and I wanted to go. This was in my early 20s. I didn't want to go home. I want to go straight to the bar. I only got like an hour of the bar left. I'm like, no thanks. No thanks. But I had a coworker who was I think my age, and he would do anything for money. And he's like, I'll do it. Can you tell him I'll do it? I'm like, dude, it's only $40 and you have to work like 6 hours. And he's like, that's $40. And I'm like, come on, do the math. That's why he was working in radio. Well, with me too. What's that say about me? Like, come on, man. Like, all right. And he did it. And he did it like the rest of the summer. In fact, like the next weekend or a couple of weekends later, my parents gave him a ride to work because I stayed back and partied. My parents came to town to go to watch the races at the Dirt Track Speedway. And Matt was in rest in peace. He passed away very young. He had cancer. And they took Matt to the track and then drove him back to my apartment. And then we went out and partied. So yeah, I was a dirt track announcer for one night. Hated it. Absolutely hated it. And I'm like, I'm not doing this again. But Matt was waiting in the wings and took over the rest of the summer. Zach says, Bo can't believe a business can't adapt when the internet goes down. His business is completely dependent on the internet. I know, right? But my business is dependent on the internet. A restaurant bar should not be 100% dependent on the internet. An internet-based business, yes, of course it's dependent on the internet. It's internet-based. But a restaurant, a brick and mortar, come on, adapt. Red Light 34 is in the house. Good morning. Thanks for the great discount. Red Light 34 took advantage, 50% discount on for previous customers. You got a coupon code in your email. Merle says he checked everywhere for that 50% coupon for your store. Never found it, so I guess we both saved money. So it is there. Every single person who has reached out to me and said, hey, I couldn't find it, found it. I said, look here. Whatever email, your email, if you've, in Merle, I know you've bought cards from me before, so I know you would have received it. Check your spam. Check your email that is connected to your eBay account. Sometimes I don't even know which email is connected to my eBay account. So that could be why some people are having difficulties. I probably would have difficulties because I don't know if they come right into your eBay messages. But everybody who has reached out about it found it eventually. Like, oh, never mind. I got a message from a listener yesterday. He's like, hey, I think there's a mistake. I didn't get the discount. And then like literally a minute later, never mind, I found it. So it's there. If you want to keep looking, it is there. Brisker and Gordon are out. Uh-oh. That's half of their secondary. Uncle Rich says, Bo, the forecast says it will be in the 70s when you come to the Dallas Card Show. Shit, that's probably about what it's going to be here. What do we got going on in Madison next week? It's going to be cool. Friday, 53. Saturday 55 and Sunday 61. So it's going to be pleasant. It's going to be much nicer. We're going to hit 80 on Tuesday, 75 on Wednesday, and then we drop down to the 50s and about 60 as the lows. Johnny says, better Walmart parking lot than your backyard, although that will probably happen in the next few years. Must be all inclusive. No, nobody's sleeping in my backyard. British Knights, BK Knights. Good morning, Jody. Uncle Rich says, I guess Lacey must be in the Hallmark movie showing today. Yes, Mark Marinello getting his Lacey Chabert in. Let's see. Rich says, let me know when you get there so I can get your arranged media passes. Absolutely. Will do. We'll be there first thing in the morning, I think. Cooter wants to know, how early will that allow us in? Oh, yeah. Cooter, you have a pass waiting for you as well. Max says, do bars close at midnight in Illinois? In Macomb, it was 1. I think it was 1. On weekends, it was 1. It was I think during the week it was, and it depends. It depends the municipality. It's all based on the city ordinance. Macomb, I think, was 1 on the weekends, and it might have been 2 on the weekends. It was one or 2 on the weekends, and then midnight during the week. And then it also, like, sometimes they close early. Like if there's like in a small town, like they'll just close at 10 if there's nobody in there. And then some, like my nephew owned a bar, and like they had to, based on their city liquor code, liquor license, they had to be open from whatever time to whatever time. They could not close early if there's nobody. If there's nobody in there, it's just they're just hanging out watching TV. So other municipalities can close when they want. So it all depends on a town by town basis. Merle says, how do people buy from your eBay store when their internet is down? They don't. Good morning. DCS week. Matt, Royals 417 is going to be there. Merle says, I'm living proof that not everyone who has looked in their eBay messages, emails, and spam folder has found it. That is not good. I don't know. Cooter says, some of us remember buying cards listed in a catalog with only a condition and price listed, not even pictures. You had to trust the vendors you bought from. Yeah, I did. I used to buy. I have a folder, and it was like they would send this huge. I can show you. My old baseball card folder from like 1999. So here's one from Chuck Speed. Chuck Speed baseball cards, summer 1990 updated price list. Whitefish Bay, that's not too far from here, over in Milwaukee. So postage, $1.50 for up to 50 cards. $4 shipping for 500 or more. And then here's what it looks like I ordered or at least I had targeted a 1951 Bowman Johnny Clipstein. So here was his price list. Let's see. And I think these were mostly commons. I don't think you could get a 52 Topps Mickey Mantle in here, but let's see. A 53 Topps Bob Feller you could get for $42 in excellent condition. A Yogi Berra was $60. I don't know what prices. I'm sure the prices are a lot more now. Let's see. What were some of the more expensive ones? Phil Rizzuto 52 Bowman was $28. 55 Bowman, and I know these are kind of lesser prices than Topps. Al Kaline was 55. Whitey Ford 16. Eddie Matthews 15. Willie Mays, a 55 Bowman Willie Mays in VG to excellent condition. $70. That sounds like a damn good price for a 55 Bowman Willie Mays. Of course, this was 25 years ago. Let's see. Was there a 54 Topps Ernie Banks in here? A 54 Topps Ted Williams, $175. Who could afford that in 1999? Not 17-year-old Bo. So that's Chuck Speed, and then there was this was actually like nice and typed out. Then you get some of these, and these were all like I found these in the back of Sports Collectors Digest. This is from Wayne Simpson in Godfrey, Illinois, and it's just all handwritten. And you could request like teams. So these were obviously I wanted Cubs. So the first page is like commons. 73 commons were 23 cents, which that's about what I pay today, 25 years later. Let's see. 64 tops. Billy Williams was just $1.50. What else? Not much else. So there you go. That's how we bought cards pre-internet. We didn't have eBay. So actually in 1999 we did have eBay, but not many were using it. Max says perfect shorts and t-shirt bike riding weather, 50 to 60. Not for me, man. This is good shorts and hoodie weather. Shorts and hoodies for me. Todd says, Merle, same here. Wasn't able to find it, but figured it was something on my end. So Todd, you did not find it. I thought, Todd, you found it. I thought you found it. Shoot me a DM and you know what? Fuck it. Let's just give you the code. I got to go find the code. So anybody that didn't get it can have it. And this is why I didn't give the code because I don't know what the code is. Let's see. Does anybody have the code that used it? Let's see. Store. Was it? Did I send it in a newsletter? 50% off coupon. Okay. View. Repeat 50 OCT. I can't even copy it. Repeat 50 OCT. So if you didn't get the code, here it is. 50% off coupon code. Repeat 50 OCT. There you go. There's the coupon code. Where are we at? Oh, caps lock got on. Merle said, made my first sale on Collects. Now I'm waiting for one to come from someone that isn't a Collects ambassador. There you go. I have my sales have trickled on Collects, but so have my listings. I've only listed a few hundred cards this week. But it's going to be a busy month. I'm not going to be, and Collects is just a secondary platform to me, basically using it how I used Sport Lots back in the day, where it's just going to be, I'm just going to use my Collects money to buy Cubs cards for my collection. Or I may buy a big card if I find something decent that I can flip. I've only got like a couple $100 in my Collects account, but that's in like 3 weeks, 4 weeks. So that's not too bad. I initially wanted to target like $400 a week. I think that's what I kind of came down to, $400 a week. It's going to take a while for me to scale up my Collects store because I'm listing a lot of just, right now, kind of what I'm listing is 99-cent Cubs cards. So that's kind of where I'm at with Collects. Uncle Rich says you should be able to get in by 9 a.m. if not a bit earlier. Sweet. Max says, Jesus, might as well not have a bar, right? Yeah, you got to do a lot of day drinking to get hammered. Uncle Rich says, if Austin is at the door doing security, it should be 8 or so, as I can probably get you both in at that point. All right, let's pray for Austin. Merle says, I bet it is something on my end. I've searched everywhere. It may have been hacked by the communists. They get you. Uncle Rich says, and if Raymond or Akbar is in the Starlight Room, I should be able to get you into the Starlight Room. Okay, Austin, Raymond, and Akbar. Is it Skandor? Who got that reference? Skandor or Akbar? Awesome. Also, Rich, I need you to guide me to, I think my first stop I want to visit, is it Bill from Superior? With the autographs that I met in Dallas. I think I have his number. Maybe I'll text him this week and say, hey, we met 2 years ago or a year ago at the Comic-Con or Collecticon, whatever it was. So I do want to visit his table. Let's see. Royals417 says, what room will you be set up in? Max says, pants don't go on until hockey games or a couple inches of snow sticks. I'm a pants fan. I'll wear jeans in the summer. I'm okay with pants. I'm wearing pants right now. Actually, I'm wearing sweatpants. I think I'm just going to wear this all day. I don't even know if I'm going to shower today. I'm just going to rock the hoodie and sweatpants all day. There's the coupon code. For those that couldn't find it or didn't get it for whatever reason, there is the coupon code REPEAT50OCT for repeat customers. By the way, this coupon code expires at midnight tonight. So if you want to use it, you'll have to get your orders in by midnight tonight. And thank you. Merle says, I find it very easy to list on Collects. It is super fast. Like obviously it's fast just to using AI and listing to eBay, but there's less steps. You don't have to worry about the 80 character limit when it goes to Collects because it automatically puts the title in. And you don't have to worry about, I don't even tweak anything. It's like, well, they have everything in there. Boom. Whereas eBay, I want to make sure, you got to get it under 80 characters, first of all. And then, okay, which ones am I going to take away? Collects does all that work for you. And then it's just one, like send to Collects. You don't have to download the sheet and then upload it on eBay. It's just boom, send to Collects, and it's done. It is very easy. Merle says, I've noticed Collects doesn't put anything on YouTube anymore. Makes me nervous that they will shut down in the near future. They will not be shutting down. Have you, I just don't think they're putting content on YouTube, but they're very active on Twitter. In fact, are you familiar with the Scanbacks? And the Scanbacks may not be, might have expired. It might have only been yesterday, but they've been doing Scanbacks where if you scan a card of, I think yesterday was Mookie Betts, maybe. Let me see. But they're very active on Instagram and Twitter. So here it is. This was Friday, and it's only valid for a day. So if you're not on Twitter, make sure to check this out and find out. They may put this on the website as well. But this was Friday. If you scan any Juan Soto card to Collects, and you're the first 500 users to do it, you get $5 in Collects credit. So you earn $5 just for scanning a Juan Soto card into Collects. And I have not taken advantage of these yet. I always see it and I'm like, damn it. I need to take advantage. I did not take advantage of the Juan Soto. There was a Mookie Betts. There's been like $20 worth of Scanbacks in the last week. So take advantage of that. So no, they are not going down anytime soon. Max says Star Wars version of Dallas Card Show weekend or what? Star Wars version. Rich says I'm not set up yet as I sold out again in March. But if you want to come over to my house, you can go through my stuff and see if there is anything you want. There you go. eBay used to be 45 characters. Oh, yeah. Bummer. Now it's like we're complaining about 80 characters. So that's what I had for today. I think I tackled everything that I wanted to tackle. Hopefully the Bears win. 3 o'clock game, and I'm kind of here for it. I'm kind of here for the 3 o'clock game so I can get a bunch of shipping done. It's going to take me, even though I have, how many orders do I have? I think it's right around 100, might even be less than 100. Where we at? Orders, come on. eBay's super slow on my computer over here. I don't know why. It's not this slow on my other computer. Orders to ship. 110. Okay, so I had more than I thought. 110 orders, but again, most of it's volume, so it's going to take me a while to get those sent out. Though I am pretty much caught up. I think all orders. I've been keeping my head above water on eBay shipping this week. I think the next order was placed Friday morning. Okay, so I'm back to Friday morning. So if you placed orders on Friday, it's probably going to get packaged up today and shipped out tomorrow. Akbar is a good guy, says Uncle Rich. And I think Skandor Akbar was, I think he was a Texas wrestler. I think he was from Texas. Let's Skandor Akbar. American professional wrestler. Passed away in 2010. So different Akbar. He passed away in Garland, Texas. He was born in Vernon, Texas. He was born in Wichita Falls, Texas, and grew up in Vernon, Texas. So there you go. Skandor Akbar. I don't know if he was ever in the WWF, though. They're not too much on his Wikipedia page, surprisingly, because he was a kind of a big name in the 80s. Akbar led the villainous stable Devastation Incorporated in Universal Wrestling Federation during the promotion's heyday in the 1980s, as well as other regional territories, including World Class Championship Wrestling, that was the Von Erichs, and the Global Wrestling Federation, which I think Global was on ESPN. Oh, Akbar was in the WWF back in the 70s. Akbar joined the Worldwide Wrestling Federation, the WWWF, which they dropped the W, for a brief run in the late 1970s, managed by Classy Freddie Blassie. So there you go. So in the late 70s, Skandor Akbar was in the WWF. Merle says, I need to take time to get better at scanning Chrome cards, keeps adding lines to the cards and making them look terrible. I don't think there's a way to do that. I don't think there's a way. There might be some settings. I don't know the settings. I scan them and they do look like shit. So there may be some tutorials on what settings. I haven't looked into it yet, but yeah, sometimes Chrome cards really look like shit when you scan them. Some look great. Some look like shit. Max says, careful, Rich. It's a trap. Anthony Thomas, what's going on? Good morning. So that's what I had for today. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. Visit my eBay store, 99centcards.com. By the way, if you didn't get the coupon code, there it is. This coupon code expires tonight at midnight. Repeat 50 OCT is the coupon code. It's a one-time only use. There's no volume. You can just buy one card with it. You can buy 100 cards with it. It is a max savings of $100. And I think and it doesn't apply to any other. Make sure you put that in the checkout. And I had somebody apply the 25% coupon code. And if you do that, you're only going to get 25% off. You won't get an additional 50% off. So that's how that goes. Merle says, saw an awesome wrestling video last night. I'll share it in the Hobby Evolution page. Nice. I'm always up for some wrestling. Anthony says, I bought a ton of hockey cards with some basketball, football cards. Question, who is hot in hockey? Oof, wrong channel. Actually, Chris, is Chris here? CL on the road? He can tell you. I can't. I have no idea. I know Ovechkin. I know Crosby and Bedard and Gretzky and a lot of the 90s stuff. But modern hockey, I don't know who's hot. I'm guessing Ovechkin, Crosby, Bedard. Those are probably the only active hockey players that I can name. I have no idea. The Falsey says, I was disappointed that I couldn't double dip on the coupons. I can't give the cards away. I can't give them away. Rich says, in the middle of the night, I got up as I usually do and watched some Stan the Man Stasiak videos on YouTube. Art Green. Okay. Bedard, Ovechkin, Crosby, Wayne Gretzky, Makar, McDavid. Oh, Connor McDavid. I do know that name. McKinnon. Don't know that name. I don't know Makar, and I don't know McKinnon. Goalies, Chris says. Goalies. Master of the Heart Punch, and his son is a Cairo here in DFW. Is that Sean Stasiak? Who is also a professional wrestler. One of, I think Sean Stasiak was Stan's son. I don't know. Maybe not. Anthony knows nothing about hockey. That makes two of us. All righty. So that's what I had for today. Thanks for joining in. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Visit my eBay store, 99centcards.com. Also over on Collects. Check out my Collects store. 1 million Cubs over there as well. All righty. Have a great day. Go Bears. We'll do this again tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Central. See you then.